your body. And now we're going to, the next self-check we're going to be doing is above. So we did from here to here, and now we just did from here to here, and next we're going to do from here to here. Here we have another model. Okay, so this is a female body cut in half. So if I was cut in half, we're looking at my right internal organs. Here we have the pubic bone. Here's the bladder and the urethral canal where urine exits, uterus and the vaginal canal, rectum and the anal canal. So that's the pubic bone. Here are the structures going up. This is your belly in front. And then that's that tailbone and the spine coming up. And here's your butt in the back. So what we're looking at here is from here to here. Okay, so literally, I want you to look at yourself. You're going to pull down your pants and check it out. Starting off with feeling that pubic bone. So your clitoris is going to be right about there. So going right above. Actually, I would say start at your belly button and actually work your way down. So you're going to find, oh goodness, can I do this without taking my clothes off? Okay, so belly button is coming down. I wouldn't do this standing because your muscles are engaged when you're standing. So you're kind of pressing down. I also have an empty bladder because you're going to be pressing on the bladder. And then you find that top of the pubic bone. Okay, so this is what I'm right here. I'm right above that pubic bone, kind of pressing down. So feeling the actual pubic bone itself. If you have any sensitivity, if you had like during pregnancy, especially if you had a symphysis pubic dysfunction, if you had any separation of that pubic bone, this could be very painful. So feeling that pubic bone, feeling kind of around this. Also, it's very, again, close to the clitoris. So that glans clitoris is right there. And so you're just above it. And so it can be a very sensitive area as well. And right at your clitoris, you have pelvic floor muscles that attach there. And then here underneath, you have abdominal muscles that attach. So there's muscles everywhere and tissue everywhere. So feeling, how does that feel? Kind of working your way up. How does all this feel? We're going to do hips and legs in a different section. So looking at this, have you had any surgeries? So if you have, especially a C-section, a cesarean section or an abdominal birth, most of the time, those are going to be, horizontal incisions here. I've definitely seen some vertical incisions. If you've had any other kind of abdominal surgeries, feeling those scars, looking at those scars, do they move? So number one, are you able to touch the scar? And then if yes, do the scars move? Okay, so moving side to side, up and down, and then even kind of bracing one area and then feeling along the length of the scar. Does it move up and down? And then checking the other part of the scar. Okay, are you having any sensitivity in this area? Do you have a hernia, like an umbilical hernia here? So just kind of checking all of this area, feeling light pressure, deep pressure. Is there any referred symptoms? And does anything look different? So do you have, like we've been looking at in the other areas, do you have any moles a mole is fine for the most part, right? But if you check that mole now and then again in 3 months and it's grown or it's a irregular shape and it has any of those warning signs, then you want to get that. Even the moles need to get checked out. So moles, discolorations, rashes. So looking at the appearance, looking at pressure, light and deep pressure. There's nothing to insert here, so that's a category that isn't relevant for this. Scar tissue is very relevant, regardless of why you have the scar tissue there. If you have scar tissue, it can very likely be impacting even the pelvic floor. And so that's something that a lot of people don't recognize, is that connection with the abdominal wall and your structures here and the pelvic floor. We're all connected. I'll talk about that in just a minute. So scar tissue, is there restricted movement? What does the sensation feel like? Does it feel normal? Is it hypersensitive, where it's ultra sensitive, very difficult to touch? Or is it hyposensitive, where it's numb? And if you had a cesarean or it's abdominal birth, a lot of times that scar tissue may never feel the same. And that's okay. Just understanding, okay, I have numbness here, and this is what I feel or I don't feel, and getting your baseline. And then, are there any referred symptoms? So going back to what I was just talking about, how we're all connected, you have something called fascia in your body. It's kind of like a spider web. And so this spider web wraps around all of our structures. It wraps around the muscles, it wraps around the organs, and it helps to kind of keep things in place, but also allows movement as well. So we want the fascia to give some stability, but it also stretches. And so if you have restrictions in one area, that can kind of pull and create an imbalance, and it can affect other areas. And so that's why we really want to check out the abdominals too when we're addressing pelvic health. So I hope, again, that gives you a good starting point. It's not all encompassing, but it's a good way to start getting connected to your body. And now we're going to move into checking out our hips and our legs. Now it's time for the next self-check, so let's get going.